Trojan crime, female freedom in danger. Novella. The Cyclops of Ithaca. The year, 810 BCE. The location, the Scaean Gate, Troy. The rain in the Troad didn't wash away the sins, it only turned the construction dust into a thick, grey slurry. Odysseus, known to the northern builders as Loki and to the soft men of the south as the king of Ithaca, pulled his woolen shawl tighter around his shoulders. Underneath the heavy fabric, he wore the pleated linen of a priestess of Dione. It wasn't a disguise, it was his lineage. He was a Cyclops, not the one-eyed monster of later slanders, but an architectural master of the Dodona Rite, where the lines between man and woman blurred under the gaze of the Great Mother. For 10 years, they hadn't been fighting. They had been building. The masonry is complete, a voice rasped. It was Diomedes, his hands stained with the blue vitriol used to cure the timber. The Phrygian Caucasus line is open. The Egyptian enclaves are ready to trade. We've built the greatest commercial terminal the world has ever seen. So why is Agamemnon sharpening his sword? Odysseus looked up at the massive fortifications. They were his masterpiece. He hadn't brought an army, he had brought a labor force. They were securing a triple alliance: Greeks, Trojans, and the Phrygian elite to bypass the Phoenician monopoly. Because of the woman, Odysseus whispered. Helen? Freya, Odysseus corrected, using the name the northern mercenaries whispered. She didn't get kidnapped, Diomedes. She exercised her right of self-determination. She left the stagnant patriarchy of Sparta for the liberal heir of Troy. But the giants of the Peloponnese can't let the world know a woman can simply choose to leave. The turning point. The air in the camp changed the night Achilles died. It wasn't a heroic duel, it was a tragedy of errors, a Baldur moment. A stray projectile during a celebratory rite, a misunderstanding between the Phrygian guards and the Greek specialists. The death of Achilles was the spark in the powder keg. The diplomatic mission shattered. The peaceful modernization project was about to be rebranded as a 10-year siege to satisfy the bloodlust of the investors back home. Odysseus walked into the command tent. Agamemnon sat there, surrounded by Hittite-inspired maps of a world empire. "We can't hide the truth forever," Odysseus said, his voice feminine and sharp, echoing the Lelwani fluidity of his ancestors. "We came here to build an enclave. We are partners with the Phrygians. You can't just burn the ledger." "I'm not burning the ledger," Agamemnon smiled, his eyes cold. "I'm rewriting the history. From now on, there was no alliance. There was only a theft and a rescue. And you, my dear architect, are going to build me a machine to end it all." The crime. Odysseus knew what he had to do. To save his own skin and the Cyclopean legacy, he had to become the villain. He designed the horse, not a gift, but a siege engine disguised as a religious icon of Cybele, a mockery of the very peace they had tried to build. As Troy began to burn, Odysseus stood in the central plaza. He saw Helen Freya being dragged toward the ships. She looked at him, recognizing the priestess garb beneath his armor. "You could have told them the truth," she hissed. "That I chose to stay." "The truth doesn't build empires," Odysseus replied, his heart hardening like the megaliths of Malta. "The world isn't ready for a woman's choice, or a builder's peace. They want gods of war." He watched the fires consume the archives, the Phrygian contracts, and the evidence of the Caucasian trade routes. He would spend the next 10 years wandering, a ghost of a failed globalism, his name morphing in the mouths of barbarians from Sansuna to Samson, a builder who eventually pulls the temple down on his own head. He had arrived as a creator. He left as a murderer. The Trojan War was over, and the lie had just begun.